Macaulay Culkin is best known for his role of Kevin McAllister in the Home Alone movies. Well, I mean the good ones. He was high in demand for movie roles throughout the early 90s, but the films he starred in kept making less and less money, of which his parents allegedly tried to steal for themselves. After years of inactivity, Macaulay was arrested for possession of marijuana and 2 anti-anxiety drugs. He served no prison time, probably because the US gives those substances out like candy. You may have also heard that he's the frontman for a cover band called the Pizza Underground, where they sing about pizza. Nothing really that bad, but he gets an honorary spot on this list for falling short of everyone's expectations.
9.
Hey girls, do any of you love Aaron Carter? If you were a 90s kid, your room probably had posters of him all over the walls. Aaron had a lot of success when he was young by gaining an instant fan base after opening for the Backstreet Boys on many occasions and eventually selling several million albums of his own. The sad reality for musicians in his demographic is that they're easily replaceable and have a limited shelf life. Yes, preteen girls watching this video, even One Direction will come to an end in the near future. Not even 2 years after a triple platinum album, Aaron Carter couldn't get his new record to chart anywhere, and he was only 14 years old. On the bright side, he did date Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff at the same time. After a few years of who knows what, he was arrested for speeding and also had marijuana in the car. In 2009, he competed on Dancing with the Stars and developed a heavy addiction to Xanax pills because of stage fright. Following 3 years of addiction, Aaron went to rehab and got clean. However, his sister was also hooked on Xanax and died from an overdose in 2012. Aaron didn't go to the funeral because he said his family blamed him for her death. That's odd because I haven't read anything about him forcing the pills in her mouth.
8.
Justin Bieber is the only star on this list who's still relevant, but the drawback of that is he still has plenty of time to be caught doing more dumb shit, and I say this as a fan. For those watching this in the future, let me know what else he did. If any of you are Bieber fans, you may be asking, what do you mean he's a child star gone bad? And if you are, I guess his boyish good looks have made you forget the laundry list of trouble he's been in. All in the span of about 2 years, Justin egged his neighbor's house, peed in a janitor's bucket, got in a fight with a paparazzi member, hit another one with his car, and was given a DUI charge.
Oh my, who can tame this bad boy heartthrob?
7.
While Lindsay Lohan has starred in acclaimed movies such as The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, and the ever-quotable Mean Girls, I haven't seen the movie, I don't know any quotes. Anyway, she's completely tarnished her reputation over the past decade due to her drug and alcohol addictions. She's been arrested numerous times for DUIs, cocaine possession, driving without a license, and even shoplifting a necklace from a jewelry store. Despite only being 29 years of age, it seems like Lindsay's career crashed and burned long ago with little chance to recover.
6.
Jodie Sweetin is best known for her role on Full House, aka that unfunny show that makes Disney Channel look tough. She joined the show at the age of 5, which is bound to mess up anybody's childhood. After Full House was taken off the air in 1995, Jodie began drinking alcohol and using meth because of her self-described boredom. In her memoir, she described breaking down in tears during a speech at a university because she was coming down from a drug cocktail of meth, cocaine, and ecstasy. Despite the victory of getting clean years ago, she's already been married and divorced 3 times by the age of 33. Have mercy.
5.
A furlong is a unit of measurement spanning 1/8 of a mile, or 220 yards, but Edward Furlong is probably more relevant to this video. You may remember him as John Connor from Terminator 2. Unfortunately, his career dried up only a few years later after a spree of mediocre film roles and numerous problems in his personal life. At the age of 15, Furlong dated his 29-year-old tutor, who later claimed that he abused her. 3 other women were alleged victims of his violence later on, and in addition to playing real-life Punch-Out, Edward was a heavy user of hard drugs for several years. The only good news about him is that he seemingly hasn't been in jail or rehab since 2013, although based on all these other stories, he'll be back.
4.
Amanda Bynes used to be hailed as one of the few child celebrities who didn't go batshit insane, until she did. Years after starring in The Amanda Show, What I Like About You, and a few decently successful movies, Bynes announced her retirement from acting in 2012 and was soon charged with 2 hit and runs, as well as possession of marijuana, tampering with evidence, and criminal endangerment.
And like, one time,
She was arrested for starting a small fire in front of a random person's house, which landed her in a mental hospital, and it wouldn't be the first time. Amanda's Twitter account was also filled with a lot of bizarre material, including a video entitled "Sucking on a Sour Patch Kid, Listening to Music, Getting Ready for Tonight," where she wears a soulless expression on her face while demonically gazing into the mirror. She also tweeted that her father molested her as a child, although soon claimed she had a microchip implanted into her brain that made her say that, opening the doors for another stay at the mental hospital. Hopefully she gets better soon, because even the dancing lobsters would be depressed after hearing all this.
3,
Only those over the age of 35 are likely to know who Dana Plato is, so if there are any older folks watching, this one's for you. Dana Plato was forced into acting as a child and was also training to be a figure skater. In 1977, she had the option of training for a spot on the US Olympic figure skating team or having a starring role on different strokes. You can probably guess which one she picked. She and her other child co-stars used drugs to cope with being famous at such a young age, and she was soon fired for becoming pregnant at age 20. Her marriage ended and she lost custody of her son due to her addictions. To make any money, Dana starred in some adult films that I'm sure Ebert and Roper gave 2 thumbs up. You may also remember her appearance from the Sega CD game Night Trap. After her accountant took all of her money, Dana moved to Las Vegas and robbed a video store while brandishing a pellet gun. She didn't go to prison, probably because the law is biased and gives women extremely lenient punishments. She died in 1999 at the age of 34 from a drug overdose, and her son committed suicide 11 years afterwards, claiming that he wanted to, quote, be with mom.
2,
Gary Coleman was also on different strokes, although his life already started off a lot worse than Dana's because he was born with a kidney disease and his final adult height was 4'8". Shortly after his most famous role, Coleman sued his own parents for squandering his money, which made him depressed enough to attempt suicide twice. As you can imagine, acting roles die hard when Gary had long passed puberty and still maintained a baby face along with a short stature. In 1998, he turned down an autograph request and a woman began shouting at him and making fun of his disappointing career, which led to Gary punching her in the face. Another incident saw him backing his truck into somebody who took his photo without permission. After filing bankruptcy, he had few ways to pay for medical bills aside from working as a security guard or by auctioning off a pair of his pants, the winner of which was Jimmy Kimmel. In early 2010, Gary had 2 seizures and may have had a 3rd seizure that caused him to fall down the stairs in his house, landing him in the hospital and dying 2 days later, fueling rumors that his wife pushed him to inherit his money. What money? Before we get to number 1, I just want to ask if you're enjoying the video so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you.
1,
The name Corey seems to be extinct now because the 1980s had Corey Hart, Corey Feldman, and the saddest case of the 3, Corey Haim. You may remember Corey Haim from movies such as The Lost Boys and License to Drive. Like everyone else on this list, Corey soon turned to drugs and was heavily addicted to everything from alcohol to crack cocaine. Ironically, he had his own drug hotline called 1-800-COREY, and he was high while recording his dialogue. He received so much negative press for his drug use that he filed for bankruptcy after his career went into the toilet. In between a few shoddy direct-to-video film roles, Haim went to rehab a grand total of 15 times and was once found unconscious in his house. Due to having no money, his desperate attempt to pay off the hospital bill was to sell chunks of his hair and a tooth on eBay. At one time, he appeared on Larry King Live and said he hadn't left his apartment in years, which resulted in him weighing over 300 pounds. A&E launched a reality show called The Two Coreys, documenting Haim living with Corey Feldman while he tried to get clean. One episode was quite dark, involving Haim yelling at Feldman over being molested as a child in the entertainment industry and claiming it caused his drug use. As his addictions got even worse and the men's relationship crumbled apart, the show was cancelled. After several more attempts to get clean and countless suicide attempts over the years, he finally died at the age of 38 in early 2010. Corey Feldman was interviewed by ABC